Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to this online class. I hope you have completed all the assignments which I have given you in the previous online classes. As I have taught you about why should we study history, important features of early civilization like settlement in the definite territories, development of trade, commerce and various crafts, the skill to express one's thoughts in writing, and evolution of rules and some methods of government. After that, we had learned about the sources to reconstruct the Harappan civilization, in which you have learned about town planning, citadel, seals, beardman, dancing girl, dockyard, Harappan script, and trade. So, in this way, you have revised your previous topics. Today, I will start with the topic the Harappan civilization. Before starting the topic, let me tell you that the Indus Valley civilization was one of the world's first great urban civilization. It flourished in vast river plains and adjacent regions in what are now Pakistan and Western India is located. The Indus Valley civilization was located in the western region of South Asia. The citizenship was spread over some 12,60,000 kilometers, making it the largest ancient civilization. The civilization may have had a population of well over 5 millions. Then we'll come to know about that Indus civilization, also called the Indus Valley civilization or Harappan civilization, the earliest known urban culture of the Indian subcontinent. The nuclear dates of the civilization appear to be about 2500 to 1700 BC. So please remember the date 2500 to 1700 BC. This is the time period of the Harappan civilization. And you know it was also known as the Bronze Age civilization, which is in the northwestern region of the South Asia. The Harappan civilization came to be light only during the third decade of the 20th century, when excavations were made by the archaeologists in the northwestern region of India. The excavations led to the discovery of the ruins of the prehistoric cities of the Harappa in West Punjab and in Mohenjo-daro in Sindh. So please remember the places West Punjab and Mohenjo-daro in Sindh, as the sites of the early excavations were found on the bank of the river Indus and its tributaries. It first came to be known as the Indus Valley civilization because the civilization is found near the bank of the river Indus. So that is why it came to be known as the Indus Valley civilization. Now let me tell you the origin and extent of the civilization. In 1921, the archaeologist under R.V. Dayaram Sahani unearthed the ruins of the city of Harappa, situated on the bank of the river Ravi in West Punjab, which is now in Pakistan. As Harappa was the first site that was excavated, it came to be known as the Harappan civilization. In 1922 to 23, the excavations under Rakhaldas Banerjee of the Archaeological Department led to the discovery of the ruins of the city of Mohenjo-daro, located in the Larkan district of Sindh, now in Pakistan. The Mohenjo-daro, it is located in the Larkan district of Sindh, now it is in Pakistan. When further excavations were carried out, similar remains were discovered at Chunhodro in Sindh. This was the another excavation which was found and discovered. It was Chunhodro in Sindh, then Lothal in Gujarat, Kalibanga in northern Rajasthan, Ropar in Punjab, Alamgirpur in Uttar Pradesh and Banwali in Haryana. So these are the different places which were excavated by different archaeologists in different states. So please listen the places again. Chunhodro in Sindh, Lothal in Gujarat, Kalibanga in northern Rajasthan, Ropar in Punjab, Alamgirpur in Uttar Pradesh and Banwali in Haryana. By now, more than 800 sites. So please learn it that 800 sites related to the Harappan civilization have been discovered. So these 800 sites are related to the Harappan civilization. Have been discovered. The Harappan civilization extended from Sutkangador, which is in west of the Alamgirpur, and it is situated on the Markan coast. Then it is spread in the east, which is in the Ganga Yamuna Doab of Uttar Pradesh, and in the south the Harappans were using the Gulf of Cambay. It is also known as the Khambat. Now let me tell you the period of the civilization. Unfortunately, there is no written records about the Indus Valley civilization. Many scholars suggested that it belonged to the period between 3250 and 2750 BC. So many scholars have given their own suggestions. So according to them, it was 3250 and 2750 BC. It was nearly the same period which witnessed the growth of ancient civilization in Egypt and Babylonia. So at the same date, at the same time, the new civilizations were found in Egypt and Babylonia also. Radiocarbon dates indicates that the Harappan culture existed between 2500 to 1700 BC. As I have told you earlier also, that according to the radiocarbon dates, it extended between 2500 to 1700 BC. Dear students, do you know about the significant features of the Harappan civilization? Yes, there are significant features which describes about the Harappan civilization, and it is divided into two categories. The first one is urban town planning and the second one is architecture. Urban town planning was subdivided into two categories, that was the streets and the drainage system. So the urban town planning is the ruins of the sites reveals that the Harappan people were primarily urban and their cities were designed skillfully. So the first point it describes about the street. The streets divided the entire city into the square and rectangular blocks, each of which was further divided by a number of lanes. Okay, so the streets were subdivided by the number of lanes. The main street were wide and straight and intersected each other at the right angle. So they were intersecting each other at the right angles. Fire-burnt bricks were used for paving the streets. The corners of the streets were rounded off to make it easy for the movement of heavy crafts, because that time people were using the bullock carts. So it is easy for the bullock carts to move smoothly through the streets. Houses were not allowed to encroach upon the streets. So this is the structure of the streets during the time of the urban town planning. Now the second point describes about the drainage system. On the unique feature, this is one of the unique feature of the city, was its elaborated drainage system. This was one of the most important feature of the city. A brick-lined interlinked channels flowed alongside every street. So a brick linked means they were built with the brick, with the bricks, and it was interlinked with the channels. Different channels they had made to flowed alongside every street. Alongside the streets they are linked with. The house drains were connected to the underground main drains. The drains were provided with manholes at regular intervals for proper inspection and cleaning. So through the manholes, people go inside and clean the drains. The provisions of such a systematic drainage system in every city shows that the people paid great attention to sanitation and health. So it shows that they give great attention towards the health and sanitation. Their concern about sanitation is worthy of admiration. So we should appreciate their system of sanitation. Now next category comes under the architecture. we have different buildings in the architecture. Okay, as you can see it on the screen, it is divided into different style of buildings. So the first one is dwelling house. There were a number of dwelling houses situated on either sides of the streets. The houses were of different sizes and were built on the raised platform. So the houses were on different sides, okay, and they had built on the raised platform. Why they were built on the raised platform? As a protection against the danger of the floods, so that they will be protected against the flood. They were made of burnt bricks of high quality and were furnished with paved floors. The rooms were built around an open courtyard, which was an important feature of their house planning. The houses were the houses had wells and the bathrooms. So they had wells also and bathrooms also. Now, next building is the Great Bath. The most important structure that was unearthed at the Mohenjo-daro was the Great Bath. It consisted of an open quadrangle with verandas on its four sides, and at the back of the three of the verandas, various galleries and rooms. Okay, so at the back side there were various galleries and rooms. There was a large swimming enclosure in the center of the quadrangle, which was 12 meter long, 7 meter wide and 2.5 meter deep. Please listen the measurement: 12 meter long, 7 meter wide and 2.5 meter deep. At either end there was a raised platform with a flight of steps leading down to the pool. So it tells us that they have a steps leading down to the pool so that people can easily get down into the pool. The pool was filled with water taken from the wells situated nearby. So from where the water was taken? The wells which were nearby to the Great Bath. After periodical cleaning of the pool, the water was discharged into a huge drain connected to the main drain on the street. The walls of the pool were made watertight using special made bricks and gypsum mortar. It is a kind of a material through which the pool was made watertight. The structure as seen today reveals the architectural skill of the people, as it strongly withstood the ravages of the forces of nature for nearly 5,000 years. As it was facing the different natural environment or natural calamities from last 5,000 years. So it shows the master skill of the people of that time. Our next building describes about the Great Granary. The most remarkable building at Harappa was the Great Granary. It consisted of two blocks with an ascel. What is this, an ascel? It is a passage between the two rows. Okay, it is an ascel between them. Each block had 6 halls with corridors, and each hall was further divided into 4 compartments. So you understood? Each block has 6 halls with corridors, and each hall was further divided into 4 compartments. It was used for storing food grains. It was built on a raised platform to protect it from floods. Granaries have been found at some other sites as well, such as Mohenjo-daro and Lothal. Okay, so Mohenjo-daro and Lothal had also granaries. Now, the fourth building is the Assembly Hall, the Citadel and the other public buildings. There were also spacious buildings which must have been used as Assembly Hall. Okay, the spacious buildings were there which were used as the Assembly Hall. A pillared hall with long corridors and low benches was probably used as an Assembly Hall, or was the place where the ruler carried out ceremonial and administrative duties. So what things or what functions took place in the Assembly Hall? The ruler of that area carried out the ceremonial functions and the administrative duties. The citadel was possibly occupied by members of the ruling class. So citadel, as I have explained you already, it is a place which was occupied by the ruling class. Of the other public buildings, something resembling a marketplace. Okay, other buildings are just resembled like a marketplace, a group of cottages, or it can be also resembled like a group of cottages. So in this way, we have learned the significant features of the Harappan civilization, which is categorized into two different categories: urban planning and the architecture. Now, apart from the town planning and architecture, the Harappan people had very important and very systematic social life. So, our next point, as you can see it on the screen, I will discuss with you about the social life of the people. So, the social life was divided into three categories. Okay, the first one is food, second one is dress, and third one is the ornaments. So, the first one is the food. The principal diet of the people consisted of wheat and barley, which were regularly cultivated. So, what is their main food? Their main food was wheat and barley. Rice, dates, millets, mutton, poultry, etc. were also included in their diet. Now, what type of dresses they used to wear? So, the people wore simple dress. Okay, they used to wear simple kind of dress. Men used two pieces of cloth. The upper garment was a shawl which was drawn over the left shoulder and under the right arm. Okay, the men used to wear two pieces of cloth. Okay, the upper garment was just like a shawl. You have already seen a shawl. Okay, so it was just like a shawl, and how they wear it? They drawn over the left shoulder and under the right arm. The lower garment resembles a modern dhoti. I think you have seen dhoti. So it was just like same. Female dresses did not differ much from that of the male. Women used a linen cloth bounded by a girdle. What is this linen cloth? It is just like a single piece of cloth wrapped round the hips. Right? And bounded by a girdle means it is just like a belt. The girdle is just like a belt worn round the waist. So the girdle is holding the cloth tightly on the waist. Now, cotton fabrics were commonly used, and perhaps wool was also used. Now, the last point describes about the ornaments. Ornaments were worn by both men and women, rich and poor. Gold, silver, copper, and other well-known metals and precious stones were used for making various ornaments of different designs, such as the necklaces, finger rings, and armlets. So, this is their social life, in which we have learned about food, dress, and the ornaments. Now, let me tell you about their economic life. The main occupation, the economic life is related to the occupation. So, the main occupation of the Harappan people have agriculture and trade and commerce. Okay, it is divided into two categories: agriculture and trade and commerce. So, first point, agriculture. The main occupation of the people was agriculture. Specimens of wheat and barley prove that these crops were regularly cultivated. Okay, these crops, these wheat and barley, were regularly cultivated. Most interesting is the finding of the cotton, the earliest known so far. Now, next point, trade and commerce. The Harappans had commercial relationships with the southern and the eastern India, Kashmir, and countries of Central Asia. So, they have trade relationship with which countries? With southern and eastern India, Kashmir, and the countries of Central Asia. They imported various metals, precious stones, and other articles. It is believed that they were importing gold from Karnataka. So, from where they were importing gold? From Karnataka. Copper from Rajasthan, and precious stones from Afghanistan and Iran. Okay, so once again I will tell you, the importing of gold from Karnataka, copper from Rajasthan, and precious stones from Afghanistan and Iran. Many evidences have been found which reveal that trade was carried out with Egypt and Crete. So, trade was carried out with Egypt and Crete. Objects of Sumerian origin found at the Indian cities further indicates that there were trade relationships between these countries. Trade needs uniform weights and measures. There is evidence that the Harappan people used sets of cubical stone weights. Okay, what they use? They use sets of cubical stone weights, even in the far flung areas. Trade was carried on both by land and sea routes. Okay, how they used to do the trade? By land and sea route, both. The representation of the ship on a seal suggests the popularity of the sea routes. So, there is a carved picture of a ship on a seal speaks that the popularity of the sea trade. So it describes about the sea trade is very important and very flourished. So in this way we had completed the economic life also. It is divided into two categories, agriculture and trade. Now we have completed these topics. I have given you the assignment related to the above topics. Kindly complete it properly and neatly in your history registers. Thank you.